I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into the heart of America's past with Judith Perkins. She's an author of an amazing book. It is called Journey to the Pacific, One Man's Quest. It is a poignant narrative that unfolds during the Civil War era. Her book tells the riveting story of a baby placed in a harsh orphanage in Illinois, who against all odds learns to read and dreams of seeing the Pacific Ocean. This is not just a tale of survival, but a testament to the human spirit's resilience and the life one man builds for himself in the pursuit of that dream. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank our team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her wonderful book. The links are right below this interview. Judith, great to see you here this morning on Spotlight.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Great to have you on the show. Your book really paints a vivid portrayal of life during Civil War times. What inspired you to write about an orphanage in this era?
My family, my ancestors, to some degree. I wrote a book a year ago. It was a memoir of my family. And one of my grandmothers was born in Illinois and came across country. Another set of great grandparents bought a hotel in a small town in Eastern Washington and raised their family there. And I wrote all about this in my memoir. And I decided to roughly use those people as characters in this book.
Well,
I
that's
took a
great.
lot
You
of
kind of borrowed a
license.
little bit from real life, which makes it feel very, very real as well,
Right,
which is
right.
great. Tell us a little bit about your hero in the story and the journey from the orphanage to the Pacific Ocean, which of course is both literal and figurative.
He was very young when he was placed in the orphanage. His mother had lost her husband and two older sons in the war, and she couldn't cope with him. It was a cruel orphanage. They did not teach the children to read, but there was a matron in the orphanage who took pity on him and taught him to read, and he read everything that he possibly could. He read a story about Lewis and Clark and the salt works in Seaside, Oregon, which is now Seaside, Oregon, um, and how they boiled down the salt to cure their meat
Hmm.
for the winter. And he made a vow to himself at that time that he would someday see the Pacific Ocean. And the story is his journey to that goal, and what happens to him along the way, what he has to cope with in the orphanage, and how he gets out and west, the journey that he has to make to go west.
Yeah, and exactly in that era, that journey, of course, is an arduous one.
Yes,
It's not
very.
like you can hop on an Amtrak and go out, you know?
No, no.
Absolutely. One of the things I thought was fascinating about your book was the importance of literacy, that it really does have a transformative power. Is that part of the message to your audience, to your readers?
Yes, that it is part of it. It is important for everyone um, to know how to read and to communicate. Another reason that I wanted to write it the way it was that it shows the resilience of a human being and how they want to reach a goal in their life,
Mm.
whether it be to see the Pacific Ocean, whether it be to raise a healthy family, whether it be to own your own home. Everyone should have a goal, and that goal is possibly attainable.
Yeah. In fact, that's what you need in life, a motivating factor. You know, you need something that's going to
Absolutely.
push you to survive, to excel, to accomplish. And I think that's well stated in the book as well. When you were writing this book, you obviously traveled across the country's diverse landscapes. And I never cease to be amazed by the beauty of the United States. It seems
It's
like you're
incredible.
enthralled by it as well. You live in a beautiful
Yes.
place, Washington State, too.
Well, I've been in every state in the United States,
Wow.
including Alaska and Hawaii, and I've seen that country at different times of the year. And so I know that what it's like to travel through that country. And I traveled through it in relative luxury in a motorhome.
Mhm.
He traveled through it by train, by wagon train, by horse and buggy, by walking in some cases, however he could get there.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. It's a different journey when you're doing it in an RV versus
Yeah,
catch as
yes,
catch
it is.
can.
But the country is the same. The
Yeah,
landscape, the beauty of the country is all the same, whether it was in the 1800s or the 21st century.
absolutely. That's the beauty of it, the timelessness. You go past the Grand Tetons and you could have stood there 300 years ago and you're seeing the same thing. And that's what's
Yes,
absolutely wonderful about our
yes.
beautiful country. Tell us a little bit about your vision for this book, perhaps as a film. Have you thought about that? It is such a great journey across America. It is such a great, you know, personal journey as well.
I haven't really thought about it. I've gotten a lot of telephone calls from people who say that they can make it into a film, but I haven't done anything about that yet.
Mhm.
I it's kind of beyond my imagination.
Yeah.
Um, I'm 82 years old, and it's kind of astounding to me. First of all, it's astounding that I even wrote the book at this age, but um, maybe it's a possibility. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, your work is out there now. It could wind up in anyone's hands, and Hollywood could call and be ready to finance the whole thing and produce it. You never know. And that's the beauty about putting a book out there. You never know who's going to wind
Yes,
up reading it. Are you working
yes,
on any new books?
yes, I am. I have a sequel to this book already to be sent in to be published. I have another one complete um, that just needs some editing done on it, and I'm working on a fourth book now.
Wonderful.
So once I started, I didn't start writing until I was 80 years old.
Gotcha.
And so once I started, I just can't stop. It's something that I love doing. Um, for some reason, the stories seem to come to me.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe some of them are good, maybe some of them aren't, but we'll wait and see.
But
It's a work in progress.
exactly. Well, that's all of our lives are a work in progress, right?
Yes,
Whether you're
absolutely.
80 or 60 or 20,
That's
putting
right.
that first word on paper is a great giant first leap forward. So that's great.
Yes.
You said you have a fourth book that you're working on. Do you have a working title? Can you tell us a little bit what it'll be about?
Well, the fourth one is about uh, a young girl who takes over her father's um, construction business.
Hmm.
It's set in Portland, Oregon. Portland is where I was raised, and I'm very familiar with it, so it's relatively easy for me to write about it.
Yeah.
She has some difficulty with her mother, who was divorced from her father, and um, this young lady has a master's degree in business and marketing, and she's very savvy and knows how to run a business.
Mhm.
She's 26 years old, very young, but she's been involved with her father's business almost her whole life. And it's just going to be a story about how she overcomes some of the difficulties of running a very large, very successful business at a
Wonderful.
very young age.
Sounds great. It reminds me a little bit of Atlas Shrugged. So you're in
Uh,
good company. Yeah, for
Kind of,
sure.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's wonderful. And that certainly got made into a movie and was a terrific movie. Before we
yes.
leave you today, anything you'd like the folks at home to know? Any message you'd like them to find in your book when they read it?
The main reason that I wrote this book is that everybody has a desire for something, and that desire is attainable with persistence, with determination, with love, with caring, with faith. You can reach any goal that you have for yourself.
Exactly. I
I
agree 100%.
One other thing that I would like to mention is that I wrote this book at the request of my daughter-in-law. I wrote it without any sex, without any violence.
Mhm.
She teaches third, fourth, and fifth grade excelled students,
Mhm.
and she wanted to be able to read the book to her students. And so I did not put any violence or any sex in it that wasn't normal to everyday life for those kids.
Right.
And that was one of the reasons that I wrote it the way it was written.
Mm.
Um, that it is an easy book for anybody to read.
Exactly. Very accessible, great story. And I think you also proved that you don't need sex and violence in a book to make it interesting, which is
That's right.
great as well.
That's right.
The name of the book is Journey to the Pacific, One Man's Quest. In the captivating book, Judith Perkins not only transports us back to a pivotal time in American history, but also puts us on a journey of hope, determination, and the pursuit of dreams. Judith, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.